Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tour de Force podcast. Last month we talked about sales planning and the importance of the goals and the objectives. We also talked about, just as important, how that was to track for individuals to achieve those goals and objectives, and about giving people the right tools to be able to do the job. So naturally, the next logical topic for us becomes gap analysis, or as a lot of people may refer to it, cross-sell, upsell, white space, account penetration plans. There's a whole bunch of different terms that people may use to discuss what we consider gap analysis. I'm fortunate enough to welcome back this month Matt. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hello.
And I think to start off, we're just going to open it up. So you just heard me mention a ton of terms. So in your experience, when you ran a distributor, give me your thoughts on gap analysis and really how that affected different roles in the organizations.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. So, when you look at a distributor or manufacturing organization, they're typically selling in very mature markets where the opportunity to bring on new customers and sell to a bunch of new people, net new business, is not something that a lot of distributors have the luxury of. A lot of distributors are trying to grow their business through acquiring new business within the same relationship. So it's more of a account management or a nurturing and really developing an account to do more with them. And the best way to do that, the single greatest opportunity for a distributor or manufacturer is to grow their business, is to identify where the gaps exist. And so some people call it white space. Some people call it cross-selling. So I always use the basic term of, I want to be able to see all of my customers that are buying rigid conduit from me. And if they're buying rigid conduit and they're not buying copper wire, I want to identify why. I want to know why they're not buying the copper wire, because if they're buying the conduit, they're putting something in it. The same concept can be applied to, in the automation world, they're buying my panels, but they're not buying my terminal blocks. They're buying my lighting, but they're not buying my bulbs. So through what we call comparative gap analysis, you're able to look at what people buy and then identify, based on the industry that they're in, what they should be buying, and then take that information and go start to ask questions of why you're not doing the business, and hopefully further penetrate the account and sell it. The other concept would be where you're not doing comparative, but where you're looking at a specific customer that is in a customer classification. And inside that classification, you know that you've got 20 or 30 key product lines that customer class should be buying. So now what you're doing is you're looking at it from more of a more broad view, where you're looking at all the product lines, what you're selling. And that's where you start talking about white space, because you're identifying where's the white space of the things that we don't sell, and based on what they are buying and what customer classification they're in, there are things that you should be selling. So it really what it amounts to is just different ways of cross-selling, upselling, identifying the white space, and then doing comparative gap analysis. So all of those are a little bit unique, but in the end, they're really all about helping provide information to salespeople and to management to identify where those opportunities exist within the business, which flows right back up to that sales planning that we talked about last month, Ken, where, if you're going to set a goal to grow an account by 20%, well, what are you going to do? If you don't have any major projects, then you need to further penetrate, identify the gaps, identify the white space to begin to sell into that.
So it's good information. It also sounds like it's much easier said than done, right? So give me a little bit of insight around how Tour de Force can help with that whole process.
Great. So really when you look at how Tour de Force can help, it carries across the organization. How do you help a manager identify across their sales reps where you've got sales reps that are high performers in certain product lines but underperforming in other plans. One of the things we do in Tour de Force is we have what's called a macro gap analysis, which allows you to look at a rep, a branch, a region, or an account, and then look at where the white space exists. Because typically what you find, managers are looking to get good cross-selling activities across all sales reps. But if you have a sales rep that isn't selling a certain product line, you may need to start to ask the questions. Have we properly trained that person? You know, I'm a salesperson. I like to sell what I'm comfortable with. Distributor salespeople are no different. They want to sell what they're comfortable selling. So some of those gaps exist not because opportunities aren't there, it's because they're not educated in the right manner to sell. So from a management perspective, it allows you to look at your organization as a whole, where those gaps exist, and then what you need to do. Do we need to generate marketing activities? Are we not focusing on that? Maybe we need to have an overall corporate initiative to go after that. So that's more from a management perspective. From a sales rep perspective, one of the things we do in Tour de Force is with every new customer, we want them to build a customer, what we call a pre-call dashboard. So think of a sales rep being able to pull up on their phone or their tablet as they're walking into a customer, pull up a performance dashboard that says, okay, this customer is in this specific industry. And as a corporation, we've identified that these 15 product lines are key product lines that everybody in this customer classification should be selling. So I can pull up that dashboard, I'm walking into the account, and right there I can see, for this customer in this classification, these are our 15 key product lines. Where's the white space? What am I not selling? What did I used to sell 2 years ago, last year, that I'm not selling today? And then I can start to penetrate or start to talk to that customer about what do I need to do to gain the business? Where are they buying that from? Is there a reason why they're not buying that from us? So it gives me talking points to sell. The third component is marketing. Obviously, marketing's job is to support the efforts of the sales team, to generate leads, to gain people's interest. So from a marketing perspective, if I can look at my company as a whole or a branch or a region and be able to do those comparative level gap analysis or new product introductions. My VP of sales comes to me and says, we're picking up this new vendor, they've got this great product. Hey, this product is a great opportunity for our sales reps to sell to anybody that's buying another product line. So if they're buying product 1, 2, 3, we know they should be buying this new product. So you use comparative gap analysis to generate a marketing or a campaign list, which can be email, draft mail. It could be a call down list for an inside lead gen team that's clearly identified, a list of potential prospects that's very targeted for marketing based off of using the gap analysis in the trends or history within those particular accounts. So it's really about supporting all three of those groups, the management, the sales reps, and the marketing. And there's a lot of different tools in Tour de Force to allow you to easily provide that information to those groups.
Well, that's fantastic. So we'll wrap it up. We appreciate the insight. It's a great educational piece on not only the distribution industry as a whole, manufacturers as well, but really on what Tour de Force can do to offer the assistance to help people. The insight was fantastic. Always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us again this month.
Thank you.